I have spent the last 9 years of my life mastering this strategy, and in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how to trade it in the simplest way that I can. Now, this is not hindsight. This is from a real trade that I took today, live in real time, with over 1,500 people watching me, as you can see here.
479, 5%, 300. Let's go. Like 78K, 1,200, 10K, 70, 700, 370, 6,400. Let's go, baby. Come on, 1,200. That's what we call the account passer. Yes. Let's freaking go.
What I'm going to teach you today has completely taken guessing out of my trading. And for me, that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with. Not knowing when to enter, not knowing how to define my risk, and not knowing when to exit. Now, in this strategy, before I show you how this played out and exactly what to look for, there's a few pillars that I want you to know. The first is I only trade price action. I find my levels with hourly and 4-hour supply and demand, and I trade price action. I watch candles and I watch volume, which leads me to point 2, it's VPA. I always incorporate volume into my trading. It gives me a second edge, it gives me multiple confirmations, and it allows me to see when buyers or sellers are aggressive or when they are weak. Now, when it comes to the particular strategy that I'm going to teach you today, you have to be patient for this to work out. If you're not willing to work on your patience, if you're not willing to work on your discipline, I likely will not be able to help you. However, if you're willing to work on being a more disciplined person and trader, if you're willing to work on your patience and being more patient with your entries, with your exits, and holding your trades, I assure you, I can help you make a lot of money trading and keep even more. We choose discipline over dopamine on this channel. Now, that said, let's take a look at the actual strategy. So for this, I always have 2 charts on my screen. I always want to be watching the 1 minute and the 5 minute. Now, this can also vary. I'm okay if you find more confidence in the 2 minute or the 3 minute, but for me, I'm always looking at, as of recently, the 1 minute and the 5 minute. The 5 minute being my bread and butter, the 1 minute giving me second confirmations. Now, let's go ahead, let's drag this over here. So, step 1 is we always want to wait. Number 1 is wait the first 15 minutes. Okay, what we're going to be trading today is my version of the 15-minute orb. I do not trade, I rarely trade, I should say, in the first 15 minutes. Because if you can read the first 15 minutes of price action and stay patient, there's a good chance you can catch the overall trend of the day 8 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times, you just have to stay patient. So in today's particular trade, we start by having gap down here. We have a few consolidating 5-minute candles. We make our 15-minute high right here. And we make our 15-minute low. Let's see, let's grab this. Our 15-minute low right here. So we have this range set. I try not to take trades within here. Now, if you were in Team Bull today, I was saying I liked shorts here. The problem is, and why I didn't execute on the first entry was because if I were to enter here, say at 565.5 for SPY or ES if you're a futures trader, then I would have had to keep my stops above this high here. And this particular move was far too much risk for me. I didn't want that amount of risk within my 15-minute range and on a trade where I didn't have a cushion to start the day. So I personally waited that out. I missed this first move. However, I didn't let that frustrate me. I didn't let that get me down. I didn't let that make me chase entries. I stayed patient. I stuck to my A+ entry system. And what you'll see here is after this first 5-minute close below. So step 2 is we want to wait for a 5-minute close below 15-minute range low or high for that matter. It can be the high too if you're trading the upside. I want to see the 5-minute candle close below that or above it if it's an upside, because this works to the upside or the downside. So you can see here that we get this close down here. This confirms I'm going to be looking for a retest back up of this area to go short. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, you got the perfect entry up here. You're going to say it's super easy. Not even that. So on this particular trade, I didn't top tick this. I personally saw this hit once, didn't touch, saw it hit here, And as we came down, I enter my shorts in here with my stops above this high, knowing that we confirmed, we touched this 15-minute low, we failed to go higher. Right, this data spike right here up concerned me a little bit, so I waited for data, waited. As we reject again, I enter in this zone here, keep my stops above this particular level, and I let this thing ride. Now, the reason I love this strategy, I love this strategy is because it simplifies my trading to the most it possibly can. We know that we have to wait for a 5-minute close above or below our 15-minute range. We know that oftentimes, whatever way we close that 5-minute candle, right, is the direction we will trend for the day. And let's say this wouldn't have worked out, okay? Let's say on the flip side, this trade doesn't work, because sometimes it won't. I'm not a perfect trader. I don't win every trade, right? A lot of these YouTube guys will tell you they do. JDUN doesn't. I lose trades. I just manage my losers very well. So on this particular trade, let's say that this, we would have went down, came up and closed this 5-minute here up here, I would have taken my loss. Now, if we start building back up, and if I see a volume and price confirmation on the 5-minute chart, I will personally look to take that reversal and play back to the high a day. Now, I would prefer that we come up here, liquidity sweep into this area, so we come up in here, fail this 15-minute high again, and look for a retest of a short entry down here. But, you know, I'm not going to sit there and force trades in this 15-minute zone just because I need to trade. Again, the model of Team Bull, and if you watch my YouTube channel, is discipline over dopamine. I want to turn you into a disciplined trader. So if you give me the chance, if you give this strategy the chance, if you give yourself the chance, that's the most important thing of all here, to become disciplined, to stay patient, to trade consistently, to follow a system, to make sure you always have an edge in your trading. That is what is going to make you profitable over time. I say this a lot, but yes, 99% of traders, 95% of traders, whatever it is, a lot of traders will fail. But you have the ability to be in that small percentage who doesn't give up, who chooses discipline over dopamine, who focuses every day, who journals every trade, who wants this thing more than they want to breathe. And if you give it your all, similar to going to the gym, lifting weights every day, and following a diet for 6 months, going to the gym for 6 months straight, you're going to see results. The problem is, most of society and most of our pool of traders will not stay consistent. So I guess ending this video, you have the strategy that I've worked on for the past 9 years as a trader, trial and error between pretty much everything. The question is, are you going to take action? Are you going to choose discipline over dopamine? And do you want this? Do you want this freedom? Do you want to keep your money you make trading? And do you want to provide for your family and the ones you love from trading more than you want to breathe? That's the question I ask. I'll see you in the next video.